Okay, true story. A friend of mine in the 90s, let's call him Bob, was going to his favorite rapper's concert with his girlfriend. Let's call her Sally. So Bob and Sally drive to the concert. The venue is packed. They're sitting front row. They're having a great time. So now the rapper's on stage. He's doing his thing, got the crowd going crazy. While the rapper's on stage, Sally catches his eye. Now, Sally is a very beautiful woman. So the rapper kind of looks at the security guard who's on stage and makes a little motion to him. So next thing you know, the security guard walks up to Bob and Sally. And the security guard's like, yo, you guys look like you know how to party. And you guys look like you're really big fans. And Bob is all excited. Remember, this is his favorite rapper. He's like, oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And the security guard goes, you know what? The rapper wants to meet you guys. He can tell y'all know how to party. He knows how to party, and he can tell y'all know how to party. So why don't you come backstage and meet the rapper? Now, Bob and Sally are both super excited. Sally's excited, but Bob is even more excited. So now Sally and Bob are in the backstage area. There's security, there's music, there's smoke, there's drinks, there's people walking all around. So that's the backstage area. Then further, like 10 feet away, there's a room there. The door is open. You can see the rapper and a bunch of people and women and drinks and there's herb billowing out of there. You can tell there's a lot of, they're having a good time in that kind of VIP area in that room with a door and two security guys in front of it. So the security guy who grabbed Bob and Sally said, hey, go in there. The rapper wants to meet you guys. So now they're walking towards that door. Sally goes into the door. Once Sally enters the room with the rapper and all the rapper's entourage, the security guy shuts the door. Bob looks at the security guy and goes, yo, I'm going in too. And the security guard with a very stern face goes, nah, man, not you, just her. So now Bob is calling and yelling for Sally, making a whole commotion, but Sally's not answering. And the security start to surround Bob and they say to Bob, yo, man, you gotta go. So Bob ends up being escorted out. So Bob is in his Honda Civic driving home, just crying, his imagination going wild. He's thinking about all the things that rapper and his entourage were probably doing to Sally, and she's probably loving it. It's driving him crazy, right? So Bob gets home. He's still crying. Now, remember, this is the 90s. So in the 90s, people had cell phones, but it's not like today. So Bob doesn't get any sleep. The next morning, like around 10 or 11, he calls Sally. Sally picks up and he says, yo, like what happened? She said, oh, nothing. We just hung out. And he said, yeah, but once they told me to leave, you should have left with me. She goes, yeah, but it's like a once in a lifetime thing. It's our favorite rapper. I was having a good time. He said, well, what did you guys do? She goes, oh no, we just talked and hung out and had fun. And he goes, really? Well, needless to say, Bob didn't believe her and he ends up breaking up with Sally. He felt that once they told him to leave, she should have left with him. So I'm still friends with Bob, and he still brings this story up, and he tells me he got his heart broken in two ways. First of all, the girl he was in love with, a hottie, basically cheated on him with his favorite rapper. So that broke his heart. But what broke his heart even more was that guy was his favorite rapper. He had all his CDs, his cassettes, his vinyls. He could not listen to that anymore. So now it's like he's breaking up with his favorite musician. He could not listen to that guy's music anymore because every time he would listen to that music, all he could think about is Sally being brought to Pound Town. And he said even today, every once in a while, he'll see that rapper on an award show or something like that. And to this day, he hates that guy. And he still, to this day, cannot listen to his music.